When can I predictably be able to expect to have 10K USD coming in on a monthly basis, Joseph? Please tell me. What is it delusional of me to think that I'm going to make 50K a month in the next 12 months if I'm starting from scratch right now? The answer is yes. It is completely and utterly delusional, and you have to understand how this works. And the reason why I'm bringing this up because I'm meeting 18-year-olds that believe that they're going to make those types of amounts, and they're going to be royally disappointed. So they need to understand, you need to understand, maybe you might have some beginner's luck, right? Every single sport got that, and even trading's got that. But at some point you get hit in the face and you begin to lose more than you made, and you begin to have issues that lead you down a very negative, depressive spiral of issues that you think you can't overcome. Okay, so we're going to discuss this properly today. I want to help you to understand how the journey looks like. Some people say that the journey to success is like this, when it can be between 2 points, and it's going to be like this, okay? Up towards that point. It's not going to be all over the place, and the only time when it is all over the place is because you don't have accountability, you don't have a coach, you don't have a system that you're following, and as a result, you're going to do whatever it is that your emotions are telling you to do, because that's basically what decides your behavior, right? And your emotions are kind of fleeting, and they're going to do stuff that you don't want them to do, and then you're going to just follow it anyway because that's how you feel, right? We have to follow our hearts and our emotions, right? No. So let's go right into this, understanding the 10K system. First of all, in terms of how much you make, is it location dependent? In the beginning, yes, absolutely. In the long run, does it matter? No. And the reason why it doesn't matter is because of the internet. Aren't we grateful that we live in an age where you can actually super speed your process from rags to riches faster than any other civilization on planet Earth that has ever existed? You can go from rags to riches, okay? And it's not like that, obviously, right? Because then that would be delusional. But it would feel like a snap of your fingers compared to what the previous generations had to do. They had to like hope to maybe one time in the future, my great-great-great-great-great-grandchildren will benefit from the effort that I'm putting in today, right? You can get royally rewarded for actually massively putting in work over these next few years, not months, not weeks, years, compared to generations that basically had to patiently wait and die, not having ever seen the promised land, right? So, location dependence. Yes, in the beginning, not long term because of the internet. However, let me explain this one thing for you who lives in a third world country. For you, it is literally easier to get rich than it is for someone living in a first world country. Let me repeat this because most of you guys don't understand this. And it is facts. It is easier for someone in a third world country to get rich, i.e. to get to the point of 10K a month, 50K a month, 100K a month, and beyond compared to someone in a first world country. What are you saying? How is that even possible? I don't understand. Let me explain. In a first world country, you have very high expenses. You also very often have very high taxes if you work a lot, right? And also if you make a lot. And so the problem that happens is that you get a certain amount of income, but you have a certain amount of high expenses. Now, if you're managing to live as if you were in a low-cost country, in a first world country, now we're talking. Because now you can speed up the rags to riches story like massively, right? But most people don't do that. If you manage to do that, hey, good on you, because that means that you're doing things right. But most first world country dudes, okay, they are raised up in a certain amount of comfort and comfortable situation that causes their expenses to go up together with their income. Okay, so they're thinking that, okay, I increase my income now I have more freedom. both, to spend more. And as a result, I'm going to have less money at the end of the month, less money to invest. And I also won't have a lot of time because I also got to spend time with friends, and I got to do this and I got to do that. And I'm not really obsessed about things because I pretty much have freedom. Like if I lose my job, I get welfare. That's what people think in first world countries very often. I lived in Norway. I've seen it. I've seen it all in terms of the attitudes of the lack of work ethic that is going on. And that will eventually shoot all of those people, the first world country dudes, in the foot. Because third world country dudes that understand the opportunities and are not limited by, those limiting beliefs that, oh, I'm in the third world country, I can't do much. And they actually massively take action. They're going to have work ethic while the first world countries don't. Right? So the first will be the last will be the first. And what does that mean? Is that the first world countries are probably going to become third world countries, maybe over time, who knows? Right? It is possible. While third world countries might become first world countries. Like right now, just thinking about that just seems insane. But is it possible? Is it plausible that that's possible? Yes, it is, if we don't make a change. Okay, so back to the scenario of the people in the first world countries. They now are making money, but they're spending a lot of money, and as a result, they don't have much left at the end of the month. But most importantly, they're trying to build an online business, and they're selling to the same audience as the people in third world countries. First world country dudes are selling to the same audience as people in third world countries. Who do you think first world country dudes are going to buy services and products from? They're going to buy them from third world countries. So guys in first world countries are put in a very difficult predicament where they're competing against third world country dudes that can make just as much as them. And that's the reality of it. So it's easier to get rich if you're in a third world country as long as you understand this principle, get massive amounts of work ethic, get yourself some online skills, develop your agency or your skill sets or whatever it is that you want to do in order for you to actually build your online empire. And you will have competed against first world country dudes and won. If you have a different entrepreneurial mindset than guys that have jobs and that don't want to put into work ethic in first world countries, you win as a third world country dude. Okay? So forgive me for the way that I explain, the first world, third world country dude, whatever thing, but it is what it is. So going back to the topic of 10K, it completely coincides with everything that I've explained just now. What is it that's required for you to make 10K? Just do the math, do the numbers. How does it work? Well, you need 100 people. That gives you $100 in profit every month. So if you got 100 people that give you $100 every month as a profit, you are making 10K. So you need to develop a system that 100 people benefit from, and if they benefit that much from it, they will pay the money, right? And it gets less the more people you do, right? So 1,000 people, that's $10 in profits a month. 10,000 people, that's $1 per profit per month from those people. If you've got 100,000, that's 10 cents from each person in profit per month. Is it possible to serve 100,000 people? An example of that is YouTube. Yeah, you're producing entertainment and 100,000 people have actually watched your content, and yes, that's approximately what it's worth. Okay? So if you understand this, so you got 100,000 people watching every single video of yours, you're going to be making 10K plus every single month. Now, it depends what type of topics you do, and, make sure that you do topics that can actually be monetized, etc., because that's a thing on YouTube. But so you understand the concept. Now, if you serve 10 people and they pay you $1,000 profit per month, that's also $10,000. Again, this is not rocket science. You have to produce value in a product or a service that actually causes them to desire to give it to you, and you produce the win-win situation. So, but $10,000. So how does it look? Well, there are certain categories, and this is probably a video all on its own, but there's 4 categories that you can succeed at online. 4 categories. There's not millions of ways to make money online. There's pretty much 4 categories. And if you can understand which one is yours and which one you will never ever quit on, you can make money and you can make 10K a month eventually. Number 1, it's sales. Comes in so many different forms, but learn to get good at selling. That's 1. Number 2, content creation. I just explained YouTube. There are other ways of content creation, but that's the most predictable way right now of making money as a content creator, unless you want to do a skill set that works for content creators, right? You know, because you could do that as well. The third one is becoming a software developer. If you become really, really good as a software developer, you will get to 10K a month, but you got to get really, really good at it. And then the last one is trading. Trading is the least probable that you're going to succeed at out of the 4. It's the thing that most people, when they start out, they hope that they're going to succeed at, but it's not that easy. It's the exact same thing as all the others. It just seems like you get more success in the beginning, and as a result, the industry kind of scams you to believe that you can be a success faster, and as a result, you're going to end up losing money. So you got to be very wise about that situation. Talk to people that have actually experience in that field, and don't just go out there and try and trade on your own, because you're shooting yourself in the foot again. Okay, so if we understand these 4 categories, then you need to just choose what it is that you want to do on a continuous daily basis next to your full-time job. You need to have some form of income. You need to have some form of income. So number 1, you get yourself instant income locally. Even if you're in India, I recommend that you have a local job that fulfills your material needs. It is very important, because then you don't have neediness and desperation when you go out and try to sell something to a first world country dude, right? Second of all, develop a skill. Work for free. Work for free. And get practical experience working for first world country dudes that are willing to hire you. ONTRACC might be an example of that. I can't promise anything, but we are working with multiple guys in third world countries and helping them to learn practical skills that is going to help them to become business owners and entrepreneurs in the future. Okay, so if you understand how that all works, just work for free in the beginning. Don't try to get paid. If you try to get paid too soon, you're going to stunt your learning curve. If you're trying to get paid too soon, you're going to stunt your learning curve, and people are not going to want to work with you, not because they don't want to work with you, but because they got options. There are people out there that are willing to work for free and for very, very cheap. Okay, so people would rather work with that and give them an opportunity, although you were better, right? So it's an act of anti-marketing to try to get paid before you actually have proven that you're really, 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 really good at your craft. Okay, so that's number 2. Number 3, once you become really, really good at your craft, there's one thing that you're missing. And we're going to create a do-it-for-you system for this inside of ONTRACC and Men of High Value in the future. But you will have to learn to sell at some point, no matter what skill it is that you get. Content creation, you're going to have to learn to sell your skill sets. As a YouTuber, you kind of sell yourself a little bit, but at some point you want to sell sponsors, right? You want to have sponsor deals, you're going to learn how to sell so that people can buy stuff so that you get more and more sponsors, okay? And then you've got the aspect of software developer. If you're a great software developer, but no one knows about it, you're going to struggle to sell yourself to a company that's going to hire you and pay you lots and lots of money for your software developer services. So then you have to hope that maybe I can create a project of my own, but then I have to actually sell it myself and then hope for the best. Like, no matter what, you're going to have to learn selling, or you're going to have to work with people that will sell for you, right? Is that simple enough? Like, this is your journey towards 10K. Do you understand that? Like, this video is a bit long, right? Yeah, that's how you're going to feel on your journey towards 10K. And you have to realize that it is years It is years of trial and error and suffering. And if you could have the blessing and the joy of being led by someone who is further along on that journey than you, who can actually communicate with you on a continual basis and help you and give you guidance and tidbits of information and insights for what your next step should potentially be, use it. Use it, because it's worth gold. Like it is worth way more than 10K. Way more. Why? Because if you have someone that's speeding up the process of learning for you, you're not just going to make 10K a month. It's 10K a month, which means that you times it by 10 or 12 per year, right? And then you times it by a decade. That's $1 million, right? Then 2 decades, it's $2 million, even if you were to still just make 10K a month. Do you understand how crucial it is to get to 10K a month? Because that's going to lead you to 50K, 100K, and $1 million a month eventually, if you actually are an entrepreneur and you don't stop progressing and stop developing and stop, the success journey. You can never truly fulfill your true potential because you got no idea what your true potential is. The richest people in the world, that's why they're still at the game, because they know they've got more in them to bring to the world and to the marketplace in terms of systems and value, right? So if you understand all of this stuff and you've actually stayed tuned all the way until the end of this video, congratulations, because that's exactly what it's going to require. You not giving up, you having persistence, you keeping going no matter how dark it seems like, because in the beginning, it's not going to be very beautiful. It's not going to be much. There's not going to be any money. And you got to realize that. What if it takes you 5 years to make $10 online? It is possible. If you've got direction, it shouldn't. If you've got direction, maybe it should take you 6 months, maybe a year. But once you get a small little paycheck, just something from online, your brain changes forever. It's like, dang, I made this online from someone I didn't know. A stranger paid me money. Yes. So if you understand how that works, there's so much money on the planet, bro. You can go out there and get some as long as you bring value to the other side and create win-win situations. 10K can probably happen no matter who you are, no matter what country you're from. It should happen in the next 2 to 3 years for any of you. Okay? I helped one of my clients do that in 6 months. And some clients haven't done it at all, and they've been with me for 2 years, right? So it's difference between people. But if you're the kind of person that gets obsessed about it and actually, massively progresses towards it with their work ethic and discipline, it can be you that gets it in 2 to 3 years. But what if it took you 5 years? What if it took you 5 years to make 10K a month? It's still better than the starting salary of someone who's completed a master's degree. No matter what that master's degree is. Most people do not just go simply into a job from a master's into a 6-figure position. It doesn't happen. And if you make 10K as an entrepreneur, that's way more scalable than any master's degree job, isn't it? Right? So you'd rather it take 5 years to gain your proper online education, not formal education, because it's a freaking waste of time. I'm talking about proper online education of how to make money online. If it took you 5 years, it's way better than that formal route that so many people take. This is the alternative for you. Men of High Value, on track. Let's get going with the program. DM me at Instagram. Let's get started. I'll see you guys in the next one.